Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to each one of you for the virtual session of science. I hope you all are keeping very well and you all are maintaining your notebook. Hopefully you all are writing in your notebook, you all are maintaining points in the notebook. So let us continue with the chapter Water a Precious Resource Part 3. Chapter 16. Let us see what are we going to do. We will see distribution of water. What is distribution of water across the earth is not even due to different factors such as rainfall and climatic conditions. You have seen distribution of water on the earth's surface, oceans, fresh water, the percentage, the amount of water available on the earth for drinking purpose and all that we have seen. So let us see the distribution of water, how water get distributed across the earth is not even. You have seen it is unevenly distributed due to different factors, and one of the main factor is the rainfall and other climatic conditions. Various places will have a different type of weather condition, climatic condition, different amount of rainfall, so that will decide the distribution of water. And some places have a high amount of water while other face scarcity of water. So it is the water is not evenly distributed on the earth's surface. For example, in India, places like Rajasthan get very low rainfall, as you all know, and hence have a less water. You must have seen in movies, you must have seen in some documentary films where the women of Rajasthan area, they have to go to so many kilometers with the pots and the vessels and all to carry water. They have to walk so many kilometers because water is not available easily for them. It is a big challenge for the people living in those areas of Rajasthan. So, how precious a water is, you should understand. The major part work of the day, the major work which they do in a day is fetching water from the remote areas. They have to walk long distances and then they have to get water. Must have seen in documentary movies. So, on the other hand, some places like Meghalaya receive high rainfall and have a high amount of water. Hence, there can be times when one part of India faces floods while the other is suffering from droughts like condition. So, this is a clear example to show that water is not evenly distributed on the earth's surface. So please take down distribution of water. Here just have a look on this uh, image on your screen. This is a map of India where it is shown the distribution of rainfall with different shades of blue. So the key given over here for the rainfall, you have all these different shades of blue. The places shaded with the different shades of blue, you can see above 400 centimeter rainfall, then you have 200 to 400 centimeter rainfall, 100 to 200 centimeter rainfall, then you have 150 to 50 to 100 meter rainfall, then 40 to 60 meter centimeter rainfall, and 20 to 40 centimeter rainfall, then 0 to 20 centimeter rainfall. So all is in centimeter, children. So this is a rainfall at various places in India. It is shown on in the map of India with different shades of blue, and this different deepest blue color, that is above 400 centimeter. Then the lighter shade of that between 200 to 400. Then again lighter than that, this is 100 to 200 centimeter rainfall. So you can make out with the help of the keys at different places in India where you have a huge amount of rainfall or very good amount of rainfall, and you can make out some places where there's negligible rainfall or very low rainfall. This is how it is unevenly distributed. That's why some part of India is flooded with water and some part of India face drought like condition or water scarcity. Lots of problem they're facing because of no availability of water. Just have a look on that. And then water management, we should know what is water management. Since you know Water is so very precious for life. Let us see what is water management. No matter whether a place receives a high rainfall or low rainfall, water management is necessary to ensure that everyone gets access to an adequate amount of water, because you have your fundamental rights for water. Every living organism has a right for water, natural rights for water. Nobody should be denied for water because it's a basic fundamental right of every living organism. So generally the civic authorities of a region are responsible for the adequate supply of water in that area. So it should not be like water should becomes a privilege for handful, and it should becomes and some people will not get water because it's not available in that area. It is the responsibility of the civic authorities. By some means, water should be made available to them, and they generally use a well structured pipeline system to deliver water to every house and building of the locality. So water is not a privilege, it's a natural basic fundamental rights of every living organism, not only human, every living animals and birds, and they require water, and it's all the rights, because we have all equal claim for water. It should not be a privileged. So not only this, is also responsibility of the civic authorities to prevent wastage of water and check if the supply system is adequate or not. So it is a responsibility to take care there is no water wastage, and civic authority should be taking care of this. And along with these authorities, every individual, it is not only the government official responsible, every individual as every citizen, it's your responsibility, your duty to take care of water, to save water, to not to waste water. It is our fundamental rights and duties. We want to exercise our rights for the water. At the same time, you should fulfill a responsibility of not wasting water, of using water wisely. It's our responsibility for saving water and preventing it from getting wasted. Hence, we should always keep a check on how we use water in our daily lives. So, in a day to day life, when you are using water, brushing teeth, taking a bath, whatever you are doing at home, you should be very careful that you should not have leaking taps. You are not overusing water, you are not wasting water, because a water is a precious resource, is a natural resource. We have no rights to waste water, not at all. Water harvesting or rainwater harvesting. You need to conserve water through one of a very important method. There's a way to instead of water going to do drainage system and getting wasted, getting polluted, getting contaminated, we better make some means by which we can harvest, we can conserve rainwater, because rainwater is a fresh water which we can use for many purposes. Let us see water harvesting or a rain harvesting system. You just see the image over here, just have a look. Where you have a house and you have pipeline system where from the roof, uh, pipeline system, when you make a pipeline system where it will go to the tank inside the ground, where you build a tank inside, the water which is falling on the roof through the pipeline system, it will get collected in the tank. Because otherwise, when the water falling on the roof, if this system is not made, then all the water will go into waste. So instead of that, you can have a proper rain harvesting system. It's just an example shown here on the screen. You can see you have a garden. There also you can make some arrangement for collection of water. So this is how water can be collected and can be used when there's no availability of water. This tank which we had filled with the rainwater can be very useful, can be a boon, can be a blessing when there is no rain or when there is a scarcity of water. So, this is called rain water harvesting. The rainwater that falls on the earth is generally allowed to flow away. However, it can be saved and to use replenish the groundwater levels of the earth. This process of preventing rainwater from flowing away and storing it for different purposes, such as you can replenish groundwater, that groundwater level you can replenish, household chores or industrial purposes. This system where you are storing water by some system where you are storing rainwater is called as rain harvesting and rainwater harvesting. Please take down all these points are extremely important, children. I hope you are writing there. Bowries. What are bowries? You must have heard about this. This is an ancient practice of storing water, involved construction of bowries. In old times, rainwater was collected in bowries. However, with time, their usage declined. Now, due to scanty rainfall, people are again using them to solve the problem of water storage. So, Bowri is just like a well, and earlier ancient time, very deep inside well, they used to dig. Those were used to call as Bowries, and this water storing system was very helpful in ancient time, and with time the use was declined, but now again people are facing water scarcity. That's why they again can be used. Bowries are made in ancient time, and that bowries can again be replenished by some pipeline system during rain, and that can be used. Drip irrigation is a technique. Let us see, when you're talking about water, when you're talking about conserving water, when you're talking about rainwater harvesting, here you need to understand what is drip irrigation. It is an allocation technique used by farmers to water their fields. Know crops require water in some amount, so overuse of water in the field will of no use. You are just going to waste water and excess water, because of that the crops may die. So drip irrigation is a very good technique by which you supply appropriate amount of water to the field. In this, water is allowed to slowly drip into the plants so that the water directly gets into the roots of the plants. Instead of just get water, you putting excess water and water just flowing away. Here there's a technique where you're allowing water to drip into the uh, plant so that water directly goes into the roots. This minimizes evaporation, it will save water, and it will allow the nutrients to reach the plants easily. And the narrow tubes are used to make water reach the roots of the plants in deep irrigation. So this is a very good technique of saving water, and at the same time providing water, appropriate amount of water to the plants, to the crops. This is a drip irrigation. Please take down what the drip irrigation is. You can see over here pipelines provided over here, drip irrigation, where appropriate amount of water is supplied to the roots of the plants, and the water is not wasted, and plants get appropriate amount of water. This is a one very good technique of saving water, children, and every field can have this drip irrigation technique. How can we save water? We can adopt, take down all these points. We need to save water because, as you know, water is such a precious resource, is a natural resource, and the amount of water available for us for consumption is very less. So it's our duty to save water. First point, we can adopt different ways to minimize the wastage of water. Always keep the taps closed while brushing or washing the face to prevent water from flowing away unnecessarily. One should use it only when needed. So this is a common uh, routine at home. When you use water at home, you see that you should not have, you're not just keeping the tap open when you're brushing teeth and when you're washing your face. Fix any water taps that are leaking immediately. Any leaking tap, you have to fix it immediately, to repair it immediately, so that water leakage, tons of liters of water is wasted every day because of the leaking pipes and leaking taps. So this has to be taken care. It's a major concern. And instead of taking a shower, use a bucket to take bath. Shower also takes you just waste lots of water, so use bucket so that you use appropriate amount of water which is required for your bath. Use water left from washing clothes for mopping the floor, because washing after you give many turns of rinsing many tons to rinse clothes. So when you are using many tons, the uh, tons which you are using, you just can store that water, and that water you can actually use for mopping the floor, washing cars, instead of running water. So instead of using a new fresh water, running water, you can use this water which have already used in the washing machine. That water can be actually used for other purposes like washing cars and for mopping the floor. Water your plants in the morning or evening time so that the water does not immediately get evaporated. So in the afternoon time, when it is a scorching heat, because of that, when you're putting water in the plants, or most of the large amount of water get evaporated, and this is the way you are just wasting water. So you should not do that. You have to water plants in morning or evening. Do not waste food, at least take lots of water to irrigate the fruits and vegetables. See how indirectly, when you are wasting food, you are also wasting water, because you all know, to grow fruits and vegetables you require lots of water. So wasting food is also wasting water. Please take care of that. Do not throw away water unnecessarily. Use water in a judicious amount. All these are the tips for you to save water. I hope you all will follow this, children, and you all are following this, hopefully. You can see outdoor water conservation. Here you have some tips for outdoor water conservation. When you are out, save water at your local. Don't over fertilize. Keep water clean. Wash your car on the lawn where you have all the other plants where it will get water. So you wash your car on the lawn. Don't water sidewalks or streets. Practice recycling. Be smart about what goes down, and you have to be very careful, and keeps storm drains clean. So all these are some outdoor water conservation tips which we can use, which we can apply in a day-to-day life to conserve water. Indoor water conservation: how are we going to save water when you are at home? So indoor water conservation tips you have: splash the water dog. Here you have: turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth. You should have a upgraded toilet systems where you use jud- uh, up- uh, upgrade your toilet system so that it will use the average amount of water, not a huge amount of water is just wasted like that. So you need to upgrade your toilet system where you are not using excess of water. Optimum amount of water is used in upgradation when you do upgradation of your toilet system. Don't rinse before washing. Then stop the drop. That means you should always take care of the leaking taps. So stop the drop, and don't use the toilet um, unnecessarily. Do not waste water in the toilet. So please take care of water when you are using water at home. All these are some important tips which you can follow as indoor water conservation tips for you, children. How scarcity of water affects the plants, let us see. When you are not taking care of water and there's some scarcity of water due to low rainfall or no rainfall, then how does it affects the plants? You have to make these points in your notebook. Because of the scarcity of water, the plants get dried up. As you all know, what plants need water, so they get dried up and they get no water, hence they can die. Please make this point. There is no water to conduct photosynthesis. As you all know, water is a main factor, the major factor for all the life processes. So life process for plants is photosynthesis, that will be hampered, that because of less of water or no water. Hence they are not able to produce food. They will not be able to grow upright because of scarce water. They will no longer be able to get enough nutrients from the soil because of less water. nutrients goes up to various parts of the plant due to water, because water becomes a transportation medium for the plants. But there is no water, so the nutrients from the roots will not be able to reach to the various parts of the plants, as you all know. So they will not get the nutrients also, because water will serve as a medium for transportation. And if there is no water, then the nutrients will not be able to be able to supply to all the other parts of the plants. As a result, there will be no food, no oxygen, hence no life without the plants. You can think the consequences, children. So this is how the scarcity of water will affect the plants. I hope this session will be very fruitful to you. You got many tips to save water, and you have understood how precious water is and how we have to save water. It is our moral responsibility. Thank you, children, and have a great day.